What's going on, everyone? So, the Los Angeles Lakers and Quincy Olivari. Talked about him and his potential role, his potential impact. Right now, he is on a two-way. As of right now, I think that that's fine. Leave him on a two-way. Let him stay on a two-way contract. Where does he slot in? Right? Like, could he play spot minutes? Could he, Austin Reeves get the night off and he step in and play a role? Yeah, absolutely. But he can do that on a two-way contract, right? You can play him 50 games this season, and you can play him however many minutes you want in whatever type of role you want. So, him on a two-way as of right now is fine. You just want to have control over him, and no one else can come in and swoop in and take him, right? Last thing you want is to lose him, because as soon as he hit that market, somebody was coming in and taking him. It was not going to last on that open market very long, if at all. So Lakers did the right thing of securing him, making sure that he is a part of this team for now and the future, and then kind of figure it out later, right? Like, get him now and then work it out later. Figure out what you have to do. Give him some opportunities. I do believe he'll get some run. I do think he'll get some opportunities. I do think he will be a guy that, could potentially work his way to the main roster spot. Because I do. So here's the thing. We saw Quincy do what he did against the stars and the starters and the high-end role players against the Golden State Warriors. We've seen him in spots have some real success and play really well. Can he do it night in and night out? Can he do it at a good enough level to warrant him being part of the rotation? Right? How do you find that out? You give him minutes in the rotation. You kind of see, kind of gauge. Is he ready? He looks like somebody that can absolutely come in and play a role. Right? I don't really like him as a playmaker right now. Right? I mean, he even had 7 turnovers in the previous game. As an initiator, yes, he's fine. Right? The Gabe Vincent role, I think he could play perfectly. Right? Initiate, kick up, and then now he's playing off ball as a three-point shooter. Put the ball on the deck, hit the mid-range, do a little float shot, those kind of things, right? Be a point of attack defender guy, be a guy that picks up 94 feet, all of that. I think he can be that guy for the Lakers. I think he can fill the Gabe Vincent role very nicely. But you need to make sure, you need to kind of evaluate him first and make sure he can play that role consistently for you before you go and make a move. If he does, and he does show that, let's say you get him, say the first 20 games, you play him in 10 games, and he actually shows, hey, he can initiate the offense. He can be the swing man. He can create his shots for himself. Basically, if he can do what Gabe Vincent is supposed to do for us this year, then now Gabe Vincent, in my opinion, becomes expendable. Right? Now you can really look, and maybe you're trading Gabe Vincent for a Valanciunas. But it's okay, well, now, who's our backup point guard? Who's our backup playmaker? Yes, maybe Austin Reeves can slide into that, but I don't really trust him as a playmaker either. As an initiator, sure, that's fine, but you probably have to stagger D'Lo and LeBron more often than not. If Quincy can come in and show that he can kind of play that Gabe Vincent role, well, then now you don't have that worry. Now you're getting another need that you have in a center in Valanciunas, and then you lost your backup point guard, but you just brought in a guy in Quincy Olivari, who, by the way, already might be a better three-point shooter than Gabe Vincent. I mean, Gabe Vincent hasn't been this great elite three-point shooter. He's had a season, and then in the playoffs, he's been 38%. But that's something else you got to keep in mind, too. One of the reasons the Lakers brought in Gabe Vincent, outside of the consistency during the regular season, just being that point of attack defensive guy, off-ball player, guy that usually bodes well playing alongside of LeBron James. But he's also a guy that is looked at as a guy in the playoffs elevates. He becomes a better playoff performer. This is a guy that was in the NBA Finals and on most nights was their third best player for the Miami Heat, and it wasn't that long ago. I know people are down on Gabe Vincent right now because he just didn't play all year, and when he did play, he was terrible. But no, this is a guy that has been proven, at least with Miami. Can he translate and be proven with the Lakers? We're going to find out. We'll see. But if Quincy can show, again, you don't want to, Lakers are in a position where they need to win now. Right? We're not in a position where it's we can let Quincy have his ups and downs. It's not we're not in a situation that Memphis was in last year with Scottie Pippen Jr., for example. Right? So you need to make sure first, right? I've talked about Dalton Connect potentially if he can show and prove night in and night out on a consistent basis that he can provide what we've seen him provide, well, then now guys like D'Lo and Austin Reeves and stuff like that become even more expendable. Now you can consider maybe moving off of Austin Reeves, right? Because you can plug in Dalton Knecht, who's bigger, more athletic, and gives you all the same stuff and is just a better shooter, unless Austin Reeves remembers how to shoot again, right? So, like, but again, you need to see that. Like, people are like, even with Knecht, are like, we got to start Dalton Knecht, bring Austin Reeves to the bench. Look, and I've been big on bringing Austin Reeves to the bench as a sixth man. I just think that that's the role that he's best at because he gets to play his game. He gets to play his type of basketball. But I wouldn't move Dalton Knecht in the starting unit yet. I'm not saying he won't be there at some point, right? If he continues to display and show what he can do, then yeah. But you need to see it against starting level players. You need to see it against better defenses. You need to see it against, games that actually matter, against higher end rotation guys. I don't want to diminish or sound like I'm diminishing anything that Dalton Knecht has done, but there's a big difference when you're doing it against G League guys and guys that are never going to be in the league and doing it against, Minnesota opening night, and they're the best defensive team in the league last year, right? If he's out there and he's cooking, he drops 18 against them, all right, we have something here. But when you're doing it against a bunch of guys that you should be better than, you should be able to dominate, well, then that's a lot different, right? So, but again, like what Dalton Knecht did was spectacular. But you need to see that. You need to make sure before you make a haste decision. Because if he's not ready and he isn't able to do it, now you're in trouble, right? Same thing with Quincy Olivari. You got him locked up. You're good. It's fine. You're okay now. But now you need to ensure that he is able to play the role that you need if you were to trade a Gabe Vincent or trade a whomever. Now, again, let's say Lakers, say they trade for Zach LaVine, right? And it's like, okay, we need two guys, right? And like, let's say you do another trade, whatever. It's like, okay, we have like we need to fill 2 roster spots. Well, if you can go get, maybe you're bringing in a Jordan Goodwin because he's proven at an NBA level already, kind of initiate, rebounds well at a guard, right? Like, okay, go get Jordan Goodwin, and then you can bring in Quincy Olivari if you want to, and kind of let him be like your third point guard off the bench, stuff like that. Yeah, that's fine. I'm not saying like, oh, if he doesn't show it, keep him on a two-way, but I'm also saying you want to make sure. Otherwise, you got to look elsewhere, right? And that's something the Lakers need to do. They need to do that due diligence regardless. Because if he can, then that opens and gives you so much flexibility now, especially in the trade market. And now that's one less thing you have. Because one of the big concerns is like if you trade D'Lo and you trade Gabe Vincent, who's your guards, right? Like who's running, particularly, in the starting unit, you'd still have Austin Reeves who can be the initiator. If you were to trade for a guy like Zach LaVine, he can play that role. And then you have LeBron James. But particularly, it's like, well, who's your bench guard? And who's playing defense at the guard position and whatnot? Well, if Quincy Olivari shows you that he can play defense at not elite or anything like that, but just be a good enough defensive player, and then also initiate and keep the offense flowing while also providing offense, perfect. Right now, you're looking at guys like Gabe Vincent and going, okay, we can trade him. All right, let's package him and whatever else to go do what you need to do. That kind of thing. But look, I'm very high on Quincy. I think he's a guy that can and very well could prove to be a rotation piece, could warrant you playing him real minutes and stuff. But again, got to let cooler heads prevail. We got to look at it. But he could potentially, just like Dalton Knecht could potentially lead to Austin Reeves being expendable, Quincy Olivari could lead to our guards, D'Lo and potentially, and particularly Gabe Vincent potentially being expendable. We'll see. But you need to be able to see Quincy provide a lot of those same things. As always, this is a discussion, and I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you agree with my points? Do you disagree with my points? You're kind of in the middle of my points. Do you think that these guys can, that Quincy Olivari can have a real impact, and he's going to make Gabe Vincent expendable, or D'Angelo Russell expendable, or whomever? Do you think we got to be patient? We got to wait and see, right? I agree with you, Tyler. Let's evaluate, make sure. I hope he gets the role. My concern is that he just kind of gets buried and stays in the G League all year. If I'm the Lakers, I'm at least looking. I'm not saying you have to play him 25 minutes a game. I'm not saying you have to play him 30 minutes a game. I'm not saying anything like that. But if Gabe Vincent misses a game, D'Angelo Russell or Austin Reeves, he's getting those minutes, or at least close to it, right? Maybe he's getting Gabe Vincent or Max Christie minutes, whatever, right? Like, any opportunity I have to give him quality minutes, I am taking, is my point. But how do you feel? Whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you like this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. Helps me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.